51 Act Pitiful, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Biming was stunned. Did that dark-skinned girl just give him a present? That he said coldly, just put it on the table. Why would I want her silly gift? You can go now. Yes, sir. Biming watched An leave, then excitedly ripped open the oiled paper on the table. He was so eager it took him longer than it should have. A tea egg? What's this about? Why would she give him a tea egg? Is there some secret meaning? Biming thought about it, but couldn't figure it out. She probably just sent it to butter him up. He could always ask her next time. Even though he'd already eaten breakfast, Biming still ate the tea egg. Weird. How come he never realized tea eggs could be so good? Tell the kitchen to add a tea egg to my breakfast every morning. Biming said to the servant, remembering the tasty flavor. When An heard this, he secretly bumped Yun Chujiu up a few notches in his estimation. The Supreme Lord must be head over heels for 9th young Mississippi, otherwise, he wouldn't be transferring his affections to a tea egg. Yun Chujiu suddenly sneezed 3 times in a row. 1 sneeze means someone's missing me, 2 means someone's talking smack, and 3 means someone's muttering about me. Who's muttering about me? Could it be Pretty Boy? Speaking of which, that hair growth pill of his is working pretty well. Yun Chujiu said, pleased, as she looked at her buzz cut in the mirror. Yun Chujiu stayed at the residence for a few days. When her hair grew to shoulder length, she was itching to get out. She counted the days, and today was the Yun family cultivation hall's day off. Perfect for hanging out with Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu had Chun-Yu style her hair into a bunch of little braids with colorful beads. Then she skipped off to find Yun Chujiu. She ran into Yun Chujiu just as she got to her door. The girl was about to head out. Fifth sister, where are you going? Yun Chujiu asked, curious. We're going hunting near the monster forest. We can bag some game and get some experience. Your hair looks different. Did you cut it? Being a girl, Yun Chujiu noticed Yun Chujiu's new style right away. Yun Chujiu spun around proudly. Of course. It's just that I'm naturally gorgeous, so I look good no matter what. Yun Chujiu's eye twitched. Little Jiu is getting more shameless by the minute. Fifth sister, I want to go with you. I'm bored stiff. Yun Chujiu latched onto Yun Chujiu's arm and wouldn't let go. Yun Chujiu tried to talk her out of it, but ended up saying, fine, you can come, but no wandering off. Every inch of the monster forest is dangerous. If you run into a high-level monster, you'll be in serious trouble. Yun Chujiu nodded eagerly. Fifth sister, I promise I'll behave. I just want to get some fresh air. Yun Chujiu took Yun Chujiu to the main gate. The other Yun family disciples were arriving too, except for Yun Chujiu and Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu was too young, and Yun Chujiu had found an excuse to goof off somewhere else. Yun Chujiu, you're not really coming, are you? We're going to the monster forest for training, not a picnic. If you get in over your head, nobody's going to babysit you. Yun Chujiu sneered. The others kept quiet, but they weren't thrilled about bringing Yun Chujiu along either. A good-for-nothing without spiritual energy would just slow them down. Yun Chujiu blinked, her eyes turning red. I know I don't have spiritual energy, I'm just a burden. If my brothers and sisters don't want me to come, I won't. I'm just a piece of trash anyway. Yun Chujiu spoke through tears, her small body trembling. She looked utterly pathetic. 52 Chubby Rabbit, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Yun Chujiu started playing the victim, the guys couldn't stand to see her upset. Yun Chujiu quickly tried to comfort her. Hey, don't cry. You stick with me, I'm your 4th brother, I'll protect you. Yeah, me too. 6th brother's got your back. Just stay with us. That's right. There's plenty of us to keep you safe. Your 8th brother will protect you. Yun Chujiu pumped his fist, trying to sound tough. Easy there, tough guy. You're probably the one who'll need saving. You're only at the 2nd level of spirit refinement, what are you gonna do? Yun Chujiu sniped, annoyed by all the attention young Jiu was getting. Humph. Seventh sister, you just hit the third level. Big deal. Yun Chuba, always quick to react, immediately fired back. Yun Chujiu cleared his throat. Alright, knock it off. We're taking Young Jiu, and I'm watching out for her. Let's move. As the eldest, Yun Chujiu still held some sway, so everyone mounted up and, with their guards, headed towards the monster-infested forest. Yun Chujiu found a gentle horse for Yun Chujiu, and her tears vanished instantly. She hopped on, sidled up to Yun Chujiu, and started chattering away. You'd never know she'd been crying just moments before. Everyone felt a little played. Young Jiu, a little commitment to the act, please. Yun Chujiu grumbled to Yun Chujiu. Third sister, Young Jiu is getting out of hand. She's such a convincing liar. Yun Chujiu watched Yun Chujiu's back, a flicker of distaste in her eyes. She's young. Everyone spoils her, so she's bound to be a little unpredictable. Humph. It's all because Grandpa dotes on her so much. Everyone's just trying to get in his good graces. That good-for-nothing is going to get herself killed in the monster forest without any spiritual energy. Yun Chujiu fumed. Yun Chujiu just smiled, but a thought crossed her mind. Wouldn't it be convenient if something happened? This Yun Chujiu is getting harder and harder to read. And more annoying. 2 hours later, the Yun family arrived at the edge of the monster forest. They dismounted, each taking 2 guards, and ventured into the woods. Yun Chujiu had been in too much of a hurry to notice much last time. The monster forest looked a lot like a rainforest. Tall trees, vines, and bushes everywhere. Hey, these coral berries are sweet and sour. Girls love them. Yun Chuba snapped off a branch loaded with bright red berries and handed it to Yun Chujiu. Thanks, 8th brother. You're the best. Yun Chujiu's eyes lit up at the mention of food. She immediately caught herself, thinking, poor guy. Why'd you have to be 8th? You're just asking to be a busybody. Yun Chuba saw Yun Chujiu smile and thought, she's actually pretty cute. Never noticed before. Having a little sister like her isn't so bad. Everyone, heads up. Something's coming. Yun Chujiu warned. They quickly took cover, waiting for whatever it was to show itself. Yun Chujiu was excited. I've never actually seen a monster. What's it going to look like? Soon, a gray monster appeared. Yun Chujiu squinted. Wait, is that just a fluffy bunny? Seriously? This is what we're worried about. But she quickly dismissed her doubts when the harmless-looking rabbit spat out a blade of wind. 53 You want to get close to me, huh? Chapter preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The gray rabbit's wind blade was sharp enough to slice off a twig about as thick as your finger. Yun Chujiu and Yun Chuba jumped in, 2 against 1, to fight the rabbit. Yun Chujiu found it pretty interesting. Those from the 1st to 3rd level of the spirit refinement realm couldn't channel spiritual energy yet. They were basically just more agile than regular people. At the 4th level, you could finally unleash your energy for attacks and even create a shield to protect yourself. Yun Chujiu was at the 3rd level, Yun Chuba at the 2nd, so neither could use spiritual energy. Luckily, the gray rabbit had to charge up before spitting out its wind blade, giving them a chance to keep up with its attacks. After a solid half hour, the gray rabbit was history. Yun Chuba, puffed up with pride, said to Yun Chujiu, hey, did you see how awesome I was? I'll protect you from now on. Yun Chujiu gave him an admiring look. 6th brother, 8th brother, you guys rock. Humph. You're so clueless. It's just a first-tier wind-blade rabbit. I could take it down myself. What's the big deal? Yun Chujiu sneered. Yun Chujiu rolled her eyes inwardly. Is Yun Chujiu a walking pincushion? Yun Chuba wasn't about to let that slide, and another argument with Yun Chujiu started brewing. Yun Chujiu's face darkened. Chuba, if you two don't knock it off, you're going home. Yun Chujiu and Yun Chuba glared at each other, shut their mouths, and looked genuinely ashamed. Everyone continued deeper into the forest, encountering a few more first-tier monsters. Yun Chujiu hadn't fully grasped the bizarre nature of this world until now. Seeing a rabbit spitting wind, a pheasant shooting feathers like arrows, and a squirrel throwing fireballs, she felt like she was finally getting a glimpse behind the curtain. These first-tier monsters might have their special abilities, but there was a cooldown period between uses. So, while the Yun family disciples suffered a few scrapes, they could handle them. Soon, the guards were loaded down with their kills. By noon, they'd efficiently prepared their prey and were roasting the meat. Yun Chujiu's eyes lit up, glued to the sizzling meat. Such a pig. You're such a glutton. Yun Chuki snapped, glaring at Yun Chujiu. Seventh sister, are you trying to get my attention? Yun Chujiu finally shifted her gaze from the roast to Yun Chuki. Get your attention. Don't flatter yourself. You're trash. Alright, knock it off. If you don't want my attention, quit focusing on me. All you do is talk about me. I figured you were desperate for me to notice you. Yun Chujiu gave Yun Chuki a knowing look. Yun Chuki instinctively felt a little spooked. Yun Chujiu's eyes seemed sharper than any monster's, so she mumbled something about just running her mouth and wandered off to find Yun Chujiu. Finally, peace and quiet. And the meat was done. Yun Chujiu didn't care if it was scalding hot. She snatched the rabbit leg Yun Chujiu offered and started chomping. So good. Delicious. Best thing ever. Yun Chujiu was in heaven. This monster meat is way better than regular meat. So fresh, tender, fatty but not greasy, lean but not dry. Total delicacy, star. Just as Yun Chujiu was in her happy place, Yun Chujiu yelled, hide. Second-tier monster coming. Yun Chujiu dragged Yun Chujiu into the bushes. Yun Chujiu, fuming, glared in the direction of the sound. Why did this stupid monster have to show up now? Damn it, 54 Metal Bone Bear, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A huge metal bone bear lumbered over, snatched the meat right off the spit, and started munching. Yun Chujiu went ballistic, her eyes turning bloodshot. What the heck? I wasn't finished eating. You come over here and steal my food? You're gonna pay. Yun Chujiu, startled by the intense aura radiating from Yun Chujiu, wondered, what's gotten into little Jiu? Is she just freaking out? Yun Chujiu frowned, whispering, this area's supposed to be only for first-tier monsters. How'd a second-tier metal bone bear wander in? Hey, maybe it was the smell of the monster meat, Yun Chuba said, excited. Sure, they're tough, but we could take it down together. Who knows, maybe it's got crystal cores inside. Everyone, stay out of this. Chushur and I will handle it. Yun Chujiu said, and he and Yun Chushur moved to cut off the bear's advance from both sides. Yun Chujiu raised his hands, and a wind blade shot toward the bear's chest. Yun Chujiu was thrilled. So that's what spiritual energy looks like. So cool. If I hit 4th level spirit refinement, will I be tossing lightning bolts left and right? Man, that sounds awesome. The wind blade scraped the metal bone bear, but its thick hide barely even noticed. It just made the bear angrier. Roaring, the metal bone bear swung its huge paw at Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu dodged just in time. As the bear was occupied, Yun Chushur launched a fireball the size of a fist at its back. The metal bone bear's black fur immediately caught fire. Despite its size, the monster was surprisingly agile. It rolled on the ground until the flames were out. Now it was really ticked off. It let out a deafening roar. Almost immediately, a similar roar echoed from nearby. Crap. There's another one. Yun Chujiu paled. This could be a mated pair. One was manageable, but two would be a nightmare. But it was too late to retreat. Another metal bone bear, even bigger than the first, charged out of the woods, heading straight for the bushes where the Yun family was hiding. Oh no. That's a third-tier bear. Get up the tree. Yun Chujiu yelled, shoving Yun Chujiu toward the branches. The rest of the Yun family engaged the new metal bone bear. Those who hadn't been fighting with the first bear were all around the 3rd level in spirit refinement realm, so they were unable to perform long-range attacks. But the metal bone bear was incredibly powerful, and soon some of the guards were getting hurt. The others sustained varying degrees of injuries as well. Yun Chujiu sat on a tree branch, frowning. They're just flailing around with no plan. They're wasting their energy and not even doing much good. Yun Chujiu's mind raced, and an idea struck her. She yelled, "Fifth sister! Go for its eyes with your sword. Sixth brother, hack off its ears with your saber. Seventh sister, poke its butt." Yun Chuki nearly had a heart attack at that, but she knew there wasn't time to argue. Like a tragic heroine, she focused on attacking the metal bone bear's rear end. After an hour of fighting, both metal bone bears finally crashed to the ground, exhausted. The Yun family members collapsed too, completely spent. Yun Chujiu nimbly climbed down from the tree and kicked one of the downed bears. "Serves you right. Snatching my roasted meat. Ruining my dinner. Humph. I'm roasting you later, and I'm eating your paws. Yun Chujiu, we're beat, and all you can think about is food. Some thanks we get." Yun Chuki said, spitting while trying to catch her breath. Before Yun Chujiu could reply, the sound of approaching footsteps echoed through the forest. Judging by the noise, a large group was headed their way. Everyone looked up to see the Bai family approaching, led by Bai Moyu. "Surround them. Kill them all." Bai Moyu snarled. 55 That's Your Love for Me, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Moyu, have you lost your mind? We've always had issues between our families, but we agreed to leave each other alone. What's this all about? Yun Chui's heart sank. They were exhausted and in no shape to fight. Even if they tried, they'd be slaughtered. Bai Moyu smirked. You can all thank Yun Chujiu for this. If she hadn't ticked me off, I wouldn't be doing this. I'm wiping you all out so the Yun family has no future. Ha ha ha. Let's see you try opposing the Bai family then. Yun Chuki glared at Yun Chujiu, while Yun Chujiu wore a strange expression, like she was scheming something. Yun Chujiu hadn't expected Bai Moyu to go this far. What a snake. If the Yun family didn't get out of this today, they'd hold a serious grudge against her. She'd never gain any respect in the Yun family. Bai Moyu, Jiu just scammed you out of some money. We can pay it back when we get home, Yun Chui said, hoping to buy them some time. If they could just recover, they might have a chance. Bai Moru stepped forward, looking furious. Brother, don't waste time talking. Just kill them. Hand Yun Chujiu over, I want to deal with her myself. Yun Chujiu spoke up suddenly. Master Moyu, Miss Moru, Yun Chujiu is the reason for all this. Why don't we just hand her over? No need to make a big deal out of it. You might not even win if you actually fight us. An idea sparked in Bai Moyu's mind. Third lady, you make a good point. Fine. Leave Yun Chujiu here, and you can all go. Chushan, that's enough. Jiu is our sister. We're not abandoning her. Yun Chui snapped at Yun Chushan. Big brother, I don't want to leave Jiu either, but we can't all die because of her. Are we all going to get killed? Jiu, shouldn't you take responsibility for this? Yun Chushan asked Yun Chujiu, feigning concern. Before Yun Chujiu could answer, Yun Chu objected. No. I won't allow it. I'll never hand Jiu over to them. If it comes down to it, we'll fight to the death. I'm with him. I'm not afraid to die. I'll just be reincarnated, and I'll be a man again. I, Yun Chuba, won't betray my sister to save my own skin. Exactly. At least we'll die together and be siblings in the next life. Yun Chulu struggled to his feet, brandishing his saber to protect Yun Chujiu. Chusher, Chuki, what do you say? Yun Chi asked Yun Chusher and Yun Chuki. Yun Chusher smiled coldly. We, the Yun family, would rather die fighting than live without honor. If you want to get to Jiu, you'll have to go through me. Chuki, what about you? Yun Chushan's face paled. She hadn't expected Yun Chujiu to win everyone over so quickly. She looked at Yun Chuki. Yun Chuki always treats Yun Chujiu like her worst enemy. She'll definitely side with me. Humph. Yun Chujiu might be a pain, but that's our family business. Who do you guys think you are? Yun Chujiu still gotta be alive so I can get my licks in. Yun Chuki forced herself to stand and waved her sword. Yun Chujiu was shocked. She'd assumed Yun Chuki would be on her side. Yun Chujiu was equally surprised. Seventh sister. So that's why you always give me grief. It's your way of showing love. Yun Chuki glared at Yun Chujiu. Shut up. Yun Chujiu felt resentful. She couldn't understand why everyone was willing to risk their lives for Yun Chujiu. Still, she smiled weakly and said, since everyone's so fearless, I won't back down either. Let's all die together. 56 I thought you were supposed to be trash. Chapter preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Baimoyu's face twisted into a sneer as he looked at the Yun family. So you're all just begging for it, huh? Fine by me. Go. Wipe them out. Hold on. Yun Chujiu stepped forward. Just kill me. Let my family go. Young Jiu. Get back here. Yun Chu reached for her. Young Jiu. Yun Chui and the others moved to shield her. Yun Chujiu. What the hell are you doing? Yun Chuki snapped. Yun Chujiu forced a smile. I appreciate the thought, guys. But third sister's right. I can't let you all die for me. When you get back, throw me a big funeral, okay? And make sure you burn plenty of paper money on the 1st and 15th of every month. Oh, and good food. That's all I ask. Don't talk like that. We're not leaving you. Yun Chui glared at Yun Chujiu. I knew she was selfish, but this is low. The other Yun family members shot disapproving looks at Yun Chujiu and pleaded with Yun Chujiu to reconsider. Yun Chujiu hung her head, avoiding their eyes. Asterisk Yun Chujiu, you better die today. Otherwise, I'll take care of you myself, star. Big brother, my mind's made up. I've messed up enough. Think of this as me paying my dues. Baimoru, you wanted to kill me, right? Then do it. Don't just stand there, put up or shut up. Yun Chujiu suddenly yanked herself free of Yun Chu and charged toward Baimoru. Baimoru's eyes were bloodshot. Seeing Yun Chujiu running at her, she raised her sword and swung. The Yun family tried to intervene, but Baimoyu waved his hand, and the Bai family blocked them. Baimoyu didn't move to help Baimoru. Asterisk she just needs to focus. She messed up last time, but now she'll take care of Yun Chujiu once and for all. That way, she can stop obsessing over it. Star. Asterisk besides, I can always step in if things get dicey. No way someone at my level, spirit refinement 4th level, can't handle a piece of trash like her. Star. Just then, he heard a scream. Big brother, help me. Baimoyu turned to see Yun Chujiu holding a sword to Baimoru's throat. Her right arm hung limp at her side, clearly dislocated. Asterisk what just happened. Star. He couldn't believe it. In seconds, Moru had been taken down by her. The Yun family was stunned, but they had seen it all. As Baimoru swung, Yun Chujiu had moved around her in a blur, striking Baimoru's shoulder with a knife hand. She grabbed the sword from Baimoru's hand and instantly held the blade to her neck. The whole thing had taken barely 10 breaths. The Bai family hadn't even registered what had happened. Both families were speechless. Isn't Yun Chujiu supposed to be useless? How had she taken down Baimoru so easily? Baimoru was at spirit refinement 3rd level. Even someone at spirit refinement 5th level might struggle. Had Yun Chujiu been hiding her skills all this time? Yun Chujiu grinned. Baimoyu, take your people and get out of here, or I'll kill her. Baimoyu's face was purple with rage. He wanted to strangle Baimoru for being so incompetent. She had ruined everything. Let Moru go, and I'll let you all leave, he said, his voice tight. You think I'm stupid? I'll let her go when we're safely back home. Yun Chujiu wasn't falling for that. 57 You can watch while we eat. Chapter preview. You are listening at novelful.audio. Baimoyu gritted his teeth, furious. Fine, Yun Chujiu. We're pulling back. The Bai family retreated behind Baimoyu, while the Yun family closed ranks around Yun Chujiu. Yun Chuki said, her lips pursed, well, Yun Chujiu, looks like you're not entirely useless after all. Yun Chujiu flashed a grin. Seventh sister, I'm starting to get hooked on your constant need to criticize me. Lay it on thick. Entertain me. Yun Chuki stamped her foot, gave a cold huff, and shut up. Baimoru, thanks, Yun Chujiu said, smiling. Without you, we wouldn't have gotten out of that mess. Baimoru just glared. She was in pain, terrified, enraged, and full of hatred. She desperately wanted to pass out, but her constitution wouldn't let her. Yun Chujiu blinked. The Yun family wasn't quite recovered yet. It would be best to rest where they were. Once they got their strength back, they could escape, even without Baimoru as a hostage. Big brother, fourth brother, keep an eye on Baimoru. I'm going to roast some meat. Everyone, rest up. Once we've filled our bellies, we can head back. Yun Chujiu pressed a few acupuncture points on Baimoru's body. To Baimoru's horror, she found she couldn't move again. Big brother. Big brother. Help. I can't move. Yun Chujiu poisoned me again. Baimoru was terrified, remembering what happened last time. That wretched Yun Chujiu had tricked her, claiming it was just chest pains. Clearly, she had poisoned her. Baimoyu started forward, but Yun Chushi's sword pressed into Baimoru's neck. Baimoyu, one more step and Baimoru's head is going to roll. Baimoyu glared at Yun Chushi. If you dare hurt Moru, the Bai family will make you pay. Yun Chushi scoffed, saying nothing. Their priority was to regain their strength. He wasn't going to waste his breath. Yun Chujiu cheerfully stoked the fire. Then, she hung the remaining wind blade rabbits and red feather chickens they'd hunted over the flames. The massive metal bone bear paw looked delicious, and she almost drooled. Too bad it couldn't be eaten raw. It had to be dried for a year before it could be stewed in honey. The scent of roasting meat drifted through the air. The Yun family members started gobbling down food. After all, their meal had been interrupted after only a few bites of metal bone bear paw. They were still starving. Like a busy bee, Yun Chujiu handed out roasted meat to everyone. No one said much, just ate as fast as they could. The Bai family hadn't had lunch either. Watching the others feast, they couldn't help but swallow hard. This sucks. We came here to kill them, and now they're sitting while we're standing, they're eating while we watch. That roasted meat smells amazing, Baimoyu said grimly, get out the rations. We're eating lunch. The Bai family could only pull out their dry food and chew on it miserably, forced to smell the delicious aroma coming from across the way. Baimoru was the most miserable of all. Helpless on the ground, she couldn't even eat her rations. Whether Yun Chujiu did it on purpose or not, she crouched next to Baimoru, munching and saying, Delicious. So good. It's incredible. The flavor just explodes in my mouth. Why is this roasted meat so good? Wow, it's even better than the food at Immortal Gathering Tower. It's rich but not heavy, lean but not dry. This is too good. Baimoru gulped, cursing Yun Chujiu 1,000 times over. Yun Chujiu, just you wait. I'll get you for this. When everyone was almost finished eating, someone pointed at the sky and exclaimed, look. What's that? 58 Uninvited Guest, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelful.audio. Everyone looked up as 3 dark spots appeared in the sky, rapidly approaching. Holy cow! It's a legendary flying spirit artifact. Someone exclaimed. A big shot must be arriving. Kneel. Everyone, kneel. If they get angry, we're all toast. The Bai and Yun families immediately dropped to their knees, terrified of causing offense. Yun Chuan noticed Yun Chujiu happily munching on a rabbit leg and tugged at her, urging her to kneel. But Yun Chujiu didn't give a hoot about showing respect to any big shot. She remained seated, blinking and staring at the descending artifact. Baiming always used a flying spirit artifact for travel, but to avoid attention, he kept it on the down low, usually using it in remote areas. That's why Yun Chujiu had never seen one before, *tsk. Big deal. I've seen airplanes, why would I care about this fancy toy? Despite the thought, her eyes sparkled with interest. Still, it would be awesome to get my hands on one. Talk about convenient travel, the group was in a relatively flat area surrounded by low bushes. The three flying spirit artifacts aimed right for their location, looking for a smooth landing spot. Yun Chujiu rolled her eyes. Okay, this thing's actually more advanced than a plane. No noise at all. I wonder how the propulsion system works. The artifacts weren't huge, just big enough for 3 people each. When Yun Chujiu spotted one of the women dressed in white, her stomach dropped. Oh, crap. What's she doing here? But the Bai siblings were overjoyed. Bai Moru cried out, her voice trembling, Sister Yanran, help me. Bai Moyu chimed in quickly, little Sister Yanran, please save Moru. The Yun family tricked her and captured her. A beautiful middle-aged woman beside Su Yanran glanced at the kneeling crowd and frowned. Yanran, do you know them? Great aunt, they're my uncle's nephew and niece. Su Yanran inwardly despaired at her rotten luck. She finally managed to go out for a stroll with her great aunt, and now this? How unlucky can you get? The beautiful woman raised her eyebrows. Since they're family, let's lend a hand. Luo-in, sort this out. Yes, Elder Su. A young man replied respectfully. Junior Sister Yanran, don't worry, they're just small fries. Luo-in said with a syrupy tone. Even though Su Yanran wasn't officially a member of the Falling Clouds sect yet, with Elder Su around, she was guaranteed to be a core disciple sooner or later. It didn't hurt to get on her good side. Plus, Su Yanran was stunningly beautiful, enough to turn any head. Su Yanran gave a curt nod, thinking you're just a lowly inner sect disciple. You think you have a shot with me? Get real, Luo-in swaggered up to the Yun family and barked, release her. Or you can kiss your lives goodbye. He smirked, confident these nobodies wouldn't dare challenge him. Yun Chujiu, fearing the Yun family had stirred up serious trouble, quickly said, Sir, it's just a small misunderstanding. We'll let her go. Young Jiu, release Miss Bai. Though annoyed and resentful, Yun Chujiu knew she had no choice. These people weren't just a little stronger than her, they were like lions to her chick. Even if she tried her best, it wouldn't even make a splash. Yun Chujiu reluctantly released Bai Moru's pressure points, a cruel glint sparked in Bai Moru's eyes. That Yun Chujiu is such a pest. This is the perfect opportunity to wipe them all out with the Falling Clouds sect's help. 59 Bring Me to Your Master, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Moyu nodded to Bai Moru. They stepped forward, knelt before the woman, and said, Elder Su, thank you for your help. Elder Su barely glanced at them. Get up. You're both Yanran's relatives, no need for formalities. Bai Moyu noticed Elder Su didn't ask about what happened, signaling she wasn't going to interfere further. He gritted his teeth, deciding to go all in. Even so, we have to thank you, Elder Su. Yun Chujiu possesses a rare poison. Without your help, my sister might have suffered a terrible fate. Just as he'd hoped, Elder Su's interest was piqued. Rare poison. Bai Moyu seized the moment. Yes. My sister has been poisoned twice. The poison paralyzes her body, leaving her only able to move her head. Oh. I've never heard of such a poison. Elder Su was intrigued. Even the soul-scattering pill only suppressed spiritual energy. A poison that restricted movement was almost like an imprisonment talisman, but a poison was easier to conceal, and imprisonment talismans were expensive. If she could get her hands on this recipe, the trip would be more than worthwhile. Once she had the recipe, Yun Chujiu would be expendable. It would all belong to Xuanhuan. It's true. Yanran can vouch for me. Bai Moyu was thrilled. Yun Chujiu, you're toast. Su Yanran's eyes flickered. She didn't like Bai Moyu exploiting Elder Su for revenge, but seeing Elder Su's interest in the antidote, she chimed in, Great Aunt, the last time Moru was poisoned by Yun Chujiu, she extorted 500,000 taels of silver for the cure. Elder Su was pleased. She'd only come to collect green-feathered mugwort, a local specialty, but this was an unexpected bonus. Luo-yin, watching and waiting, saw his chance. He puffed out his chest and barked, Yun Chujiu, where are you? Hand over the poison recipe to Elder Su, or else. Humph, that the Yun family realized things were taking a bad turn after hearing what Bai Moyu said. Then, hearing Luo Yin's words, they started urging Yun Chujiu to hand over the recipe. Their lives were more important than any poison recipe. Yun Chujiu was in turmoil. Damn it. Where am I supposed to get this poison recipe? Even if she had one, handing it over might get her killed. And she worried the Yun family would suffer because of her. Bai Moyu. I wish you would drop dead. Even if she truthfully explained her acupuncture point sealing technique, they wouldn't believe her. What should I do? Elder Su noticed Yun Chujiu's silence and snorted, unleashing a wave of pressure on the Yun family. They crumbled under the force, collapsing to the ground. The guards, already injured, coughed up blood. Yun Chujiu felt nothing. Her mind raced, and she suddenly had an idea. She stood tall and said defiantly, Elder Su. Things have gone too far, so I have no choice but to tell you the truth. My master gave me the poison. If you want the recipe, get it from him. Elder Su, surprised that Yun Chujiu was unaffected by her power, asked, Your master? Who is he? My master forbids me from revealing his name. He told me to say he's an elder of the spiritual essence sect when I face a powerful enemy. If you disrespect him, he'll make sure justice is served. Yun Chujiu's face was full of arrogance. 60 When did you get a master? Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Spiritual Essence Sect. Elder Su's eyes widened. Spiritual Essence Sect was one of the top 4 sections. Falling Cloud Sect was just a middling one. Offending Spiritual Essence Sect would be a disaster. Bai Moyu jumped in, Elder Su, don't buy Yun Chujiu's story. A loser like her could never get noticed by an elder from Spiritual Essence Sect. She's just making it up to keep from handing over that poison recipe. He's right, Elder Su. Bai Moru chimed in, practically spitting the words out. Everyone in Yi City knows Yun Chujiu's a total waste of space when it comes to cultivation. No way an elder from Spiritual Essence Sect would take her as a disciple. Elder Su studied Yun Chujiu, a flicker of doubt in her eyes. Yun Chujiu stood tall, radiating confidence. She didn't seem intimidated at all. Elder Su's gaze swept over the Yun family. She noticed Yun Chushan's eyes darting around, like she was itching to say something. You, Elder Su said, pointing at Yun Chushan. Tell me the truth. Is there any truth to what Yun Chujiu is claiming? All eyes turned to Yun Chushan. She hesitated, then said in a trembling voice, Elder Su, 9th sister hasn't been able to cultivate since she was a child, and I've never heard her mention having a master. The Yun family members glared at her, but she pressed on, tears welling up. Why are you all looking at me like that? I'm just telling it like it is. Why aren't you blaming Yun Chujiu for being selfish and keeping that poison recipe to herself? Elder Su's doing her a favor by asking for it. Yun Chujiu, just give her the recipe. Don't drag us down with you. As Yun Chushan spoke, she stole a glance at Elder Yun, checking his reaction. That idiot Yun Chujiu is doomed whether she hands over the recipe or not. If this goes sideways, the entire Yun family could be wiped out. I have to side with Elder Su to save my own skin. Elder Su saw right through Yun Chujiu's little act and ignored her. She focused on Yun Chujiu, who, even with her lie exposed, showed no fear. She just stood there, all high and mighty. "So, kid, did your master give you any kind of keepsake?" Elder Su was genuinely concerned about crossing spiritual essence sect. Even with Yun Chujiu's testimony, she didn't want to act rashly. "Keepsake? Nah. My master always brings me tons of great food. It's gone as soon as I eat it," Yun Chujiu said with a shrug, as if helpless to do anything about it. "Please. What kind of master only gives their disciple food and nothing else?" "Elder Su, Yun Chujiu is a constant liar. Don't believe a word she says." Bai Moru shrieked. Elder Su shot Bai Moru a look of disapproval that made her chest tighten. She immediately clamped her mouth shut, but glared daggers at Yun Chujiu. "Yun Chujiu, you have no spiritual energy and no memento. Seems like no one believes your story. How about this? You'll come to Falling Cloud sect as my guest for a while. When your master shows up, I can meet him." Elder Su didn't want to risk offending Spiritual Essence sect, but she wasn't ready to give up on the poison recipe either. This seemed like the perfect compromise. Asterisk, if this so-called master doesn't show up to claim her, it won't be too late to deal with her. Yun Chujiu didn't seem worried at all. In fact, she looked excited. "Sounds good. I'm tired of Yi City anyway. Hanging out at Falling Cloud sect sounds like fun. Big brother, tell grandpa to tell my master to come pick me up at Falling Cloud sect when he gets back." Yun Chujiu nearly burst into tears. Young Jiu, you're a great liar and all, but you don't have a master.